By now, most of us would have heard the news that Elaine Thompson came out yesterday and announced that she has ended her 2024 track and field season, which means she's not going to Paris, which means that she will not be at the national trials. She will not be in Paris, France, due to some injury problems that she has sustained recently. Now, for those of us who have been following track and field for quite a while, we would have known that Elaine has been facing some serious injury issues over the years, and most recently we would have seen it in her races, and more specifically at the New York Grand Prix, where she had to be lifted from the field and taken to somewhere to get some attention. Now, as the title of this video is suggesting, that Elaine made a rookie mistake and she is probably to be blamed for her current situation. I just want to put this disclaimer out there that this is not a bashing video for Elaine Thompson or anything, but this is just thinking critically on the information that is before us. And as a matter of fact, I'm going to prove my point to you with words that come from Elaine Thompson-Herah's mouth, or should I say from her fingers. Another disclaimer, I'm not a coach, I don't have any specialist training in track and field and all that good stuff, but I'm just thinking critically based on the information that would have been put out there about Elaine Thompson-Herah. So how did I arrive at this point to say that Elaine made a rookie mistake and possibly is to be blamed for the situation that she's currently in? I know when some people hear this, their minds are running back to the Stephen Francis and Elaine Thompson-Herah situation, where Stephen brought her to the peak of her career in 2021, and over in 2022 we saw her parting ways with Stephen Francis, doing her thing elsewhere. But this video is not about Stephen and Elaine's relationship. This is far beyond that. Now, I'm going to bring you directly to the post that Elaine Thompson-Herah made yesterday when she announced that she has ended her 2024 season and she will not be going to the Olympics. Here's what she said in the post. She said, "But at the New York Grand Prix, I felt something in the race and still insisted to push. Couple steps to the line, I realized something is really wrong. I sat on the ground because I couldn't apply any pressure to the leg whatsoever as I was carried off the field." Did you see that? Let me explain where I'm getting to. She said that during the race, now this is coming from Elaine now, this is coming from Elaine. She said, during the race, I felt something, but still insisted to push through the race. Now, as a professional athlete, one who has been doing it for many years, she has been to multiple Olympic games, she has been to myriads of world championships, Diamond League meets, and you name all of the competitions that Elaine would have participated in. Now, at Elaine's stage in her career, I am thinking that as a professional and seasoned athlete, she should have been able to understand the signal that her body was sending her. She said that she was feeling something, but she insisted on pushing through, and she pushed through nonetheless to end the race. I don't know if that was a logical decision. I don't know if that was a decision that a professional should take. Of course, ending that race is good, but what are you going to risk to end the race in spite of how you're feeling? Elaine's body was sending her some serious signals, but she failed to pay attention to it. But instead, she decided to run through. I know that Elaine has been going through a very hard time and she has not been winning, so maybe that's a thing that was in the back of her head. I need to finish this race, I need to make a better impact than I did the last time. But in doing so, she would have risked her chances of going to the Olympic Games. She would have risked her chances of being to the national championships. And of course, she will be losing out on certain financial opportunities. Having been doing this over and over again, the signal that your body is saying that, hey, something is going to be wrong, it's something that becomes second nature to athletes, and you don't want to ignore those. Maybe blame might be too much of a strong word, so let me say responsible. So I feel that Elaine is responsible for what took place recently. In my opinion, I think that every athlete has the responsibility to listen to what their body is saying, to listen to the signals, because the coach cannot be out there with them once they're on the track running. So it's their sole purpose to ensure that they preserve their health, that they preserve their bodies, that they do what is in their best interest and not something that is driven by emotion and some outside factors. You have to try to do what is logical and what is best for you. So I am saying that I don't think that what Elaine did in that race was logical. I don't think that she did what was in her best interest. She just got caught up in the moment, in my estimation, and wanted to finish that race so desperately that it seems that she was willing to risk it all for that one moment. So Elaine, in my estimation, has to take responsibility for this one. She felt the niggles, she felt all of that. And what concerns me the most is that Elaine knows her tendency to get injured and she knows of her recurring injury problems. So in an Olympic year, if you're in a race and you start feeling these kind of funny stuff happening with one of your legs or both feet, I think the conscious decision would have been to pull out of that race and not to try to push too much, especially in a race that you would consider not to be such a critical one. If it was, say, for example, in the Olympic finals or maybe at the national trials, then you could understand that, okay, there is a lot at stake there, and even if she gets injured, at least she will come away with something. But what is it that she would have come away from the New York Grand Prix with if she had won that race? There was really not much to achieve there. Yes, it would have been an extra race in the bag and probably something that could get her closer back to the form that she's looking for. But I just think that too much was at stake for Elaine to ignore what she was feeling at that time. I don't think that it was the best decision for her to push through to the end. It's very, very unfortunate that we won't be having Elaine at this year's Olympic Games. She won't get a chance to defend any of her 2 titles, or should I say 3 titles. This is really, really sad. But in my opinion, I think that it's a rookie mistake that she made. She just got a bit clouded by all the frustration and everything that is happening in her life at this point in time, and it just did not work in her favor. She did something that probably could have been avoided. Who knows? Maybe what I'm saying is all wrong. Maybe it just could have been avoided and she would still have a chance of going to the Olympic Games. What do you think about this current situation? Head over into the comment section and let's talk about it. And let's continue to throw our support behind Elaine Thompson. In spite of it all, she's a great athlete. We're just hopeful that things can turn around quite speedily. So we're just saying, get well soon, Elaine Thompson-Herah.